2023 attempt. Yeah. So just a quick background about me. I am a chartered accountant. I am also a CPA. And so long back, that is, of course, I finished my qualifications and I've got about 15 to 16 years of corporate experience. So I worked in almost, I don't know how many sectors I forgot, but I've been all over the place, right from Price Waterhouse to ABN AMRO Bank to WNS and so on and so forth. So I worked at quite a number of places and sectors. Before I joined Symbiosis, I used to be a faculty at the Symbiosis BBA College in Viman Nagar in Pune. So that was my first teaching stint. I went back to corporate after teaching in Symbiosis for some time. And yeah, finally I got back into teaching. Yeah, so now I'm here. We are about a 7 years old institute. So we've been into ACCA coaching dedicatedly for the last 7 years. And yeah, that's about it. Otherwise, if you go to our website, you can already you can see our record in terms of past percentages and our rank holders and so on and so forth. Yeah, so every batch I start, I always start with a expectation or a hope that somebody from the batch is going to get me a rank. Yeah. And FM is a very rank gettable paper. Let me tell you that. It's one of the easiest skill level. Now, when I say easy, I'm talking only relatively compared to some other skill level subjects, which are a little more difficult than FM, either because their pass rates are very low or because they are 100% theory paper and students struggle with theory and so on and so forth. So out of the skill levels, I would say FM followed by tax and FR are probably the most manageable subjects. Yeah. So again, don't get me wrong. When I say easy, does not mean that it's a cakewalk and yeah, we're going to manage it without putting in too much of efforts. I'm just talking about in the relative sense that it is easier. All those who are coming from knowledge level of ACCA, that means if you've done your first 3 papers, like your FA, MA and BT, or especially MA, are going to find this subject easier than those who are coming without any knowledge level background. Yeah. So because a lot of management accounting is there in FM, but of course we take it to a next level altogether. But having said that, ACCA can be started at any level. You can start after 10th, after 12th, after graduation. So those who are pursuing ACCA after graduation and you've directly started with skill level, the subject is complete in itself. So it's not like if you've not done MA, you won't follow stuff in FM. It's a complete subject in itself. We revisit all the MA concepts over here. So it's not like you are handicapped if you've not done MA. Only thing, if you've done MA, yes, of course, the paper is going to be, or the topics at least are going to be manageable for you all. Okay, so with this we start off. Now, before we start with the textbook and the class per se, I have a small PPT to share. The PPT is all about introduction to the subject, how do we conduct the class, what are the do's and don'ts, what are the rules and so on and so forth. Once the PPT is done, if you all have any doubts that you want to ask, discuss, anything about the class, the teaching methodology and so on and so forth, please feel free and we can take up those doubts. Yeah. So I'm sharing my screen. Those who are online, let me know if you are able to see the screen. Are you able to see?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Lovely. Okay. So we all know we are doing financial management over here, right? I mean, I hope everybody knows that's the batch for financial management. We also call it FM. This is how the syllabus of FM looks like. Okay. Now, I would say the only challenge in FM is the vastness of the syllabus. I mean, you can already see that long list of topics, and those who've not taken a printout till now, I'll just show you the size of the book. Can you see the size of the book? Yeah. So it's a crazy big book, you know, like we have about almost 720 pages to study. So syllabus is vast. Syllabus is like just crazy vast. So nothing difficult. I mean, it is little technical, but I'm sure if you attend your classes, understand the concept, be regular with your homework, it's nothing like very, very tough that is beyond your comprehension. But the only thing students struggle with in FM is the vastness of the syllabus. Yeah, somehow all the subjects I teach are very vast. Even MA was like that, never ending. FM is also like that. It's like a very vast subject. So the key thing to crack the FM paper is to be regular with your studies. That's about it. Because what happens is you do part A, part B today. By the time you are on part E, 90% of you all have forgotten what happened in part A, part B. And most of you all are waiting कि बैच खत्म होगा फिर हम बैठेंगे और हम एक साथ पूरा रिवीजन करेंगे. नहीं होता है. It is impossible to conquer 720 pages. How much are you going to be able to do? So it is a ground rule for FM that you have to be regular with your topics. So you have to have a timetable. Once we reach the part C of the syllabus, you have to start getting into a schedule or a timetable where you devote at least half an hour to 45 minutes to your older topics, so that you're continuously brushing up your older topics while the current topic is happening in class. Yeah, you follow that and I can almost give you a guarantee that FM is yours. Not that we need too many marks, we need only 50 out of 100 to pass the paper. Yeah, so 50 is very, very, very gettable. Very gettable. But this is the only rule you have to remember about FM. Have to be regular with the subject, right? And all the topics mostly are new. Very few are topics which you would have studied in your graduation. Except अगर तुम MA करके आए हो तो थोड़ा तुमको familiar लगेंगे topics. नहीं तो graduation में इतने detail में कोई topic cover नहीं होता. तो almost समझ लो कि it is like the first time you're doing a whole lot of these concepts. So they are new also, and there are too many also. So that combination makes it the number one challenge for FM. Yeah. Now, this is one very important thing that I tell students. What is the objective of the paper? Now, why am I discussing objective of the paper over here? Because the examiner who's going to be checking your paper checks your paper from this point of view. The examiner who's checking, it is not a routine BCom exam where they ask you question A, you give answer A, which is most probably rattled from the textbook. I've also done BCom. So it's more like rote learning where you learn from the textbook and you reproduce what is there in the textbook and come back home. And the longer the answer, more the marks and so on and so forth. So such things don't work over here. Here the examiner is going to test you that are you good enough to become a finance manager in a company? Do you have enough knowledge and skills which a finance manager is expected to display? So he or she is going to look at your paper from that perspective. Is this person fit enough to become a finance manager? So first of all, when you are studying the subject, remember you are a manager. You are a finance manager of the company. You should know what is expected from you. You should know what are your roles and responsibilities, right? So even though 60% of the paper is MCQs, the MCQs are also asked in such a way that it involves a lot of application and decision making from your side. And believe me, the answers that you tick, the examiners try and understand your mind frame. Okay, this person ticked answer option C instead of answer B. So they immediately get to know that, okay, this person has not understood the topic well. Or this person is not thinking from the point of view they should think about the topic. So remember, here you have to adorn yourself or imagine yourself to be the finance manager of the company. You have to understand that you are responsible for the financial decisions the company is taking. The moment you think that way, your perspective changes. Because now you are not an accountant in the company struggling to just get the numbers right. We are not only about numbers. We are one level above the numbers where we do the numbers, but now we need to analyze the numbers and give good advice to the company we are working for. right? So remember this perspective of FM. This is what is going to help you throughout, especially when it comes to the 40 marks of the paper. That is the two section B questions, 20 marks each. There, along with the numerical, you'll also have a theory part, and the theory is going to involve some kind of analysis. Advise the company on whether they should go ahead with this. Recommend which is the most suitable option. When you bring in analysis and recommendation, that is where you have to talk like a finance manager, right? So remember that perspective. Another thing, it's a middle level exam, so it draws heavily on MA. Then you have FM, and FM progresses to AFM in professional levels. Okay, remember in ACCA, for those all who are new to the course, all subjects are very heavily interrelated. तुमने MA अच्छे से किया है तो FM तुम्हारे लिए इजी जाने वाला है. तुम FM अच्छा करोगे तो AFM is yours, because AFM starts from the next sentence where FM ends. तो तुमने FM का यहाँ full stop लगाया, next sentence से AFM चालू होता है. AFM, they assume that entire FM knowledge is assumed knowledge. Assumed knowledge means student already knows entire FM, and now we are just advancing to AFM. So in AFM, sorry, they don't brush upon all the concepts of FM again. So FM is like your foundation. If you don't understand FM well, if you've not made sure that your FM concepts are clear, AFM is beyond reach. AFM is beyond reach. And AFM is one of the optional papers everybody goes for. Everybody goes for AFM in their optional level papers. So study FM with that perspective. So we are not short-term vision over here कि हाँ March में paper है, FM खत्म करना है, आगे बढ़ो. No, you have to actually learn, enjoy the subject, understand the concepts so that it helps you in the future for other papers. Then you have a paper called SBL when you go to your P levels. SBL is a culmination of all subjects taken together. So there also little bit of FM comes into picture. वहाँ पे तो सब आता है, FM भी आता है, tax भी आता है, audit भी आता है. So again, if you've not done your FM well, it will reflect when you are studying for SBL. So remember there's interrelationship in ACCA. So it's not like रात गई बात गई एक subject गया सब हो गया. No, you have to retain your knowledge. And how do you retain? Only by understanding. If you've understood a concept, it is going to stay with you forever. Right? Little bit you read and you immediately remember, okay, yeah, this is what I had studied, or this is what the concept was all about. Right? Coming to the pattern of the paper, your paper is going to be a 100-mark paper, of course, that I've not written, but the paper gets divided into 3 sections, right? You're going to have a section A, a section B, and a section C. Section A, as you see, you're going to have 15 objective questions of 2 marks each. And this section covers the entire syllabus. This section covers the entire syllabus. Then you have something called as objective test cases, or they sometimes called as task questions also. So you're going to have 3 objective test cases of 10 marks each. Now, how is a test case different from an MCQ? In a test case, they give you a case study. They give you a short paragraph that is some information about the company we are talking about. You have to understand that information. Based on that information, you will have to answer 5 questions of 2 marks each. Right? That is an objective test questions. We call them section B kind of questions. Yeah. This again covers the entire syllabus. Right? Now coming to section C, which is the last part of your paper, they are called constructed responses or long answers. These are the kind of questions we are more used to in our other exams like BCom and all, where thoda numerical hota hai, thoda theory hota hai. So यहाँ पे there are going to be 2 questions of 20 marks, and focus generally is on C, D, and E. Generally. Okay. In this type of questions, you'll have 20 mark ka ek question, and it will be a mix. Thoda numerical hoga, thoda theory hoga. Typically, the pattern is they ask you to do a numerical. Based on that numerical, they ask you to write some theory. So here goes your 40 marks. So how is the paper divided? 30, 30, 40. That adds up to your 100 marks. Okay? Now, when I say focus on part C, D, E, and so on and so forth, don't let it play on your mind. Because ACCA people know, believe me, don't show my recording to them, but they are really, really cunning. Because what they'll do is, like, they know that students, and we are used to it, right? When we study for BCom also, what do? अरे past year का paper निकालो, देखो क्या repeated questions आते हैं, कौन से topic से ज्यादा आता है, नहीं आता है, and then you're like, हाँ चलो ये chapters अच्छे से करो क्योंकि इसमें से ज्यादा आता है, ये chapter option पे छोड़ सकते हैं because ये topic पे कभी question नहीं पूछते. ACCA can surprise you anytime. Okay, so they can surprise you any moment. तो मैं तुम्हें C, D, E बोलूंगी, मालूम पड़ा कि part A में से आ गया 20 marker, right? So you cannot study with a mindset कि हाँ ये topics important है, I will focus more. ये topics कम important है, मैं छोड़ दूंगी. ऐसा absolutely cannot be done. Entire syllabus has to be done in detail. There is no option system over here. तुम्हारा बैड लक मतलब इतना हो सकता है कि there are students who come to me and told me that ma'am I did not do risk management properly, but there were 30 marks questions only on risk management. That is the kind of risk you are taking. Yeah, so absolutely no options. You have to cover the entire syllabus. Each and every chapter is important over here. Yeah, so this is with the pattern of the paper. This is how your paper is going to look like. Now, all exams are computer-based exams. I think those who are doing ACCA already know that. Those who are new, it's just for them that there are no more handwritten papers in ACCA. So right from the first to the last paper, all papers are computer-based exams, right? So duration of the exams is 3 hours, 15 minutes. 15 minutes is generally reading time, but nowadays I've heard that they give you those 15 minutes also to write. So make sure before you enter the exam hall or whatever that are those 15 minutes available for writing or strictly only for reading. Since they are computer-based exams, no two students are going to have the same paper. क्यों? I'll tell you why. Another thing, क्योंकि तुमको जब भी एग्जाम के स्लॉट मिलेंगे तो तुमको कभी सुबह का स्लॉट मिलेगा, कभी आफ्टरनून का, कभी लेट आफ्टरनून. स्टूडेंट सोचते हैं मैं लास्ट स्लॉट ले लेता हूँ क्योंकि पहले 2 स्लॉट में जो पेपर करके निकलेंगे मैं उनको पूछूंगा पेपर में क्या आया. कुछ फायदा नहीं होने में. Yeah, because your paper can be completely different from the paper of the people who gave exam in the morning. So don't even bother about such things. So your paper is going to be different there. Then section A and B in terms of answering the paper is not so much of a worry because तुम्हें drop down list दिया रहेगा या एक blank दिया रहेगा. All you have to do is punch in number or select the correct option by clicking on it and so on and so forth. Section C is my worry because section C will have to be done on Excel and Word. Descriptive part of the answer will be done in Word. Numerical part के लिए Excel खुलेगा screen पे automatically. Word का part मतलब descriptive part तुम answer करने जाओगे तो automatically Word ही खुलता है. तुम numerical करने जाओगे तो automatically Excel ही खुलता है. So if you are somebody who's not used to Word and Excel, from today only you have to start. Today, this second start. वर्ड में कुछ नहीं, बैठ के तो कोई टेक्स्ट बुक खोलो, कुछ टाइप करो, एक्सेल में न्यूमेरिकल सॉल्व करो. यू हैव टू स्टार्ट टुडे बिकॉज पेपर तुमको वर्ड और एक्सेल में ही देना है, राइट? एंड बिगेस्ट चैलेंज क्या होता है तुम लोग का प्रेजेंटेशन एक्सेल में. इट्स मतलब a jigsaw puzzle for me sometimes because you all are so used to writing handwritten papers. Presentation on a paper is easier than in Excel. On paper you're used to presenting your answer, but when it comes to Excel थोड़ा presentation goes haywire because working note कहाँ बनाना है, main answer कहाँ लिखना है, how do I link my answers and so on and so forth. So I have seen absolute disasters in terms of presentation, so bad that I don't even know where to start and where to end. So when we are solving questions in class, pay attention to how we are solving, how are we presenting our answer in the class. Because that is the format you are expected to follow. Okay, for your own sake. Anybody there in the class who Word Excel is not at all familiar with Word and Excel? You know, no? I think COVID has done that to everybody. In COVID जिसको नहीं आता था वो भी सब सीख गए Word Excel नहीं, but so used to the computers. But still anybody Excel से डर लगता है, Excel नहीं आता है, etc. etc. नहीं ना? So we don't have to be some Microsoft wizards over here. Very basic formulas in Excel like plus, minus, multiplication, bracket and so on and so forth. So बहुत ऐसा कुछ बहुत high level skill का जरूरत नहीं है, but हाँ थोड़ा बहुत familiarity चाहिए. Now, familiarity with computers required, all that I've already covered. Okay. Now moving on. Right. Now, this is one very important thing. Word and Excel, they are just the versions of what we use on Microsoft. What you will see in the exam will be little different. Right? So what is required is कि I'm going to come to that registration part in just a bit. But जब तुम्हारा ACCA का registration हो जाता है, तुम्हारा एक My ACCA ID बनता है. My ACCA ID से जब तुम login करते हो, तो you get access to something called as practice platform. On the practice platform, you get to see the Word and the Excel version that will going to come in your exam. You have to make yourself familiar with that version of Word and Excel, right? ये तो सीधा एग्जाम के दिन बैठोगे वो खोलने, फिर तुम सोचोगे अरे ये तो वर्ड ही अलग है, तो एक्सेल थोड़ा अलग है, immediately you get disturbed. So better to be prepared for the version that you're going to be able to see, right? CBE के बहुत सारे advantages है, but अभी let's not talk about it because now everything is computer based. Excel minimum formula चाहिए, हाँ practice platform, that is the fourth bullet point is what I was talking about. तो हम लोग अभी registration की बात करेंगे, but remember you will get a My ACCA account, log in through that and see. Sample CBE specimen exam along with some mocks are also available on the ACCA website. So don't wait till the portion gets over. When I'm giving you all homework of section C, do the homework on the practice platform only. Do the homework on the practice platform only. Just 2-3 questions you do and you get comfortable with that whole format. Yeah, but it needs to be done. Presentation in Excel, I have told you, examiner should be able to understand the flow of calculations. Yeah, that is another thing. Assumption. Students assume examiner को सब मालूम है. हमको explain करने की क्या जरूरत है? नहीं, examiner को कुछ मालूम नहीं है. You have to write your answer in such a way that you are explaining to the examiner everything in detail. Even your Excel calculations. Students don't give heading. सीधा calculation चालू कर देते. अरे what are you calculating? What are you doing over here? You have to give some heading. This is an NPV statement or this is a valuation statement or what is it, right? So be little mindful about your Excel presentations. Now, how do we go about in the class? The first and the foremost thing I tell all my students, I might look a little scary sometimes, but I'm not. So be comfortable in class. Yeah. I tell my students one thing, your and my objective is the same. You want to pass the paper, I want you to pass the paper, right? Our objective is common. So I'm here to help out so that you all clear comfortably. And of course, you are also here so that I help you out clear comfortably. So be absolutely free in the class. I'm not here to discuss topics outside the syllabus. Sometimes I do, but I try to stop myself because I love politics. So when it comes to politics, I talk a lot, but I'm refraining myself nowadays because everybody has different views about different political parties. So now, anyway, so we talk about a lot of things, but the most important thing is be comfortable, right? It's not like a school where you ask me a doubt and I'm going to say, why did you talk and so on and so forth. Be absolutely comfortable to ask any doubt at any stage. राइट खाली इतना ही है कि ऐसा नहीं कि तुम दो दिन का क्लास मिस करके थर्ड डे आ रहे हो और मुझे पूछ रहे हो हाँ मैम क्या किया 2 दिन. आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू एंटरटेन दोस काइंड ऑफ डाउट्स बट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट समथिंग इन क्लास. आई ऑलवेज गिव यू अ होमवर्क बेस्ड ऑन द कॉन्सेप्ट वी डू इन क्लास. यू वेंट होम, क्लास में तुमको लगा सब समझ गया, घर जाने के बाद लगा कि नहीं इसमें डाउट है. सो कम बैक एंड टॉक द नेक्स्ट डे दैट आई हैव नॉट अंडरस्टूड. या you are not going to look dumb. Everybody is in the same boat. Only thing is you are the smart person to talk. Others are just keeping quiet. right? So be comfortable. That's the number one rule over here. We are going to be following the Kaplan publication. So Kaplan का textbook, Kaplan का revision kit मैंने दोनों group पे share कर दिया है. Now those all who are new admissions, whoever was your counselor, if it was Rinky ma'am, then Rinky ma'am, if it was Dimpy ma'am, get in touch with them and get your books, the physical copy of the books. Right, so they will make sure that they are courier to me or at the class, and I hand it over to you in the class. Yeah, Vidya, your book has already come. So I thought you are attending offline today. Anyways, okay, so the books will come to me. I hand it over to you in the class. In the meanwhile, या तो soft copy से काम चला लो या उनको पूछ लो कितना टाइम लगेगा, 2-3 चैप्टर का प्रिंट आउट निकालना है तो निकाल के रख सकते हो. Kaplan and BPP are the two most important publications that we have in ACCA. Textbook हम एक ही follow करते हैं, but revision kit हम दोनों करते हैं. So one revision kit we solve in class, one revision kit is used for your mocks, right? So that's what we are going to be doing. We are going to practice a lot of questions from the practice question bank, additional MCQs from some other websites. We are going to be doing some of the OTQ section C questions we are going to be doing in the class. But as you know, we have to finish the syllabus in a given amount of time. So it is impossible to do all questions in class. So we do a sample 2-3 in class and I give remaining for homework, right? And if you are serious about your career, if you're serious about this course, homework has to be done on an everyday basis. Yeah, I feel very bad and I have to ask students, homework दिखाओ ये करो. पहले तो I used to be very very strict. जिसने homework नहीं किया उसको घर भेज देती थी मैं. पर ये ऑनलाइन की वजह से बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो गया है. ऑनलाइन कोई स्टूडेंट मुझे बोल भी दे हाँ मैम मैंने होमवर्क किया. How do I know? So the only thing I have to do here is trust you all, and I hope you all are intelligent enough to do the right thing for yourself. Otherwise, जब physical होता था class और exam computer based नहीं था, I used to stand at the door, ask them to show the notebook. Have you done your homework? एकदम school type. And those who used to not do homework, we used to send them home and so on and so forth. But unfortunately, I can't do all that. So I hope you all behave like grown-ups and responsible for your own selves and do your homework. Yeah, we'll have a homework monitor every week. Because for me, it becomes very difficult to check on an everyday basis who all have done the homework. So on a rotational basis, we'll give responsibility to one person. That one person is going to check whether everybody has submitted their homework or not. I will show you how the homework gets submitted. We'll come to that in a little bit. Yeah, mock exams will be done part-wise, and FM, because it's very vast, I always plan a half mock. But students are never ready for the half mock, right? So अपना system कैसा है? We saw all the parts of the syllabus in the beginning. So as and when we finish one part, we take a mock on that part. So regularly after 2-3 chapters are done, you're going to be taking one mock on that topic, right? But since the syllabus is very vast, by the time we reach the last topic, people have forgotten the first topic. So I want to take a half mock somewhere in the middle when half of the syllabus is done. But 99% of the time, students are so struggling with their current topic and so on and so forth and their homework, and they're never ready for a half mock. But if you can be nothing like it, because somewhere you are sitting and finishing half of the syllabus, so that when the batch gets done, you have only the other half to take care of. Yeah. Once the full syllabus is done, revision is done, we will take full mocks. Yeah. On an average, 2 mocks are compulsory. Third mock depends upon how ready you all are. Do we have enough time for the third mock and so on and so forth. I check the mocks myself. If there is anything where I need to give you a detailed feedback about where you've gone wrong, what you need to work on, then we have a call and discuss that and so on and so forth. Is this okay with everybody? The lesson plan? Yeah. Homework I told you everyday basis. Timing I'll come back to this. Pattern of studying. Yes. How should be your pattern of studying? How do you study for financial management, or how do you study for any ACCA paper for that matter? One thing, there is no rote learning here. You don't have to sit down with a textbook and by heart stuff over here. Okay, your focus should always and always be on understanding. The one question you need to ask yourself every day is, have I understood what I did in class? Have I understood why ma'am did this step after this step? Have I understood why the textbook made such a statement? If there is even slight confusion in your mind with regards to a step or a numerical or a theory which is there in the textbook, immediately get your doubt cleared. Don't let your doubts accumulate and become a snowball, and such a big snowball that it falls on you and you are buried under it. Yeah. So timely, keep asking your doubts, make sure you understand. So your pattern of studying, number one rule is understanding. Understand what you are doing. Second, as I've already told you, syllabus is vast. So you have to follow a pattern where we have a 2.5 hour class every day, and you have to dedicate another 2 hours at home to the subject. So we are talking about roughly 4.5 hours studies to begin with. राइट 2 घंटा तो तुमको घर पे देना ही है, होमवर्क है, चैप्टर रीडिंग है, जो भी है करना ही है. Right? As we start covering more ground, as we start covering more chapters, then that 2 hours ghar ka studies will become 3 hours, 4 hours, and then there is no upper limit for how many hours you want to put in. Yeah, come the exam, then to even more hours of studying we are talking about. Then it's all application based. That's why again and again the focus on concept clarity. Yeah, papers, your questions are all application based. They're only going to check whether you understood. If you've understood, you'll be able to apply the concept. Yeah, by rote learning, it is very difficult to crack an ACCA exam. You won't be able to. So understanding extremely important because papers are application based. There is something called as technical articles, which I will introduce to you all while we go through the syllabus. These are additional articles on the ACCA website relating to the topics we will be studying. A must read. They are nothing over and above the textbook. So it's not like they give you additional knowledge, but they just deal with the same topic in a lot more detail in the technical article. So a lot of times your understanding becomes better. Your language becomes better. It helps you in writing theory answers and so on and so forth. So I will introduce technical articles to you as and when we progress with the subject. Additional reading per se koi zarurat nahi hai. The textbook is good enough. In FM at a skill level, typically you don't need any additional reading. Textbook, revision kit, itna bhi kar lo to bhi bahut hai. क्योंकि हमारे पास एक टेक्स्ट बुक और 2 रिवीजन किट है, तो we managed to do that much. We are pretty much sorted. Otherwise, over and above that additional reading is your interest. तुम्हें करना है तो करो, इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स पढ़ो या और कोई फाइनेंशियल प्रेस यूके का पेपर है वो पढ़ो. Right? I mean, generally you can read around the subject to keep your general knowledge at a decent level, because what happens is FM is still 70% textbook. FM is still 70% textbook, 30% maybe a little bit of your application. You go to P level, you go to AFM, textbook is only 30 to 40%. 60% application in P level. And the P level papers, especially SBL, APM, they are such papers that they heavily rely on your general knowledge. How much do you know about different industries? How much are you aware about what's happening in your environment? So I to say जो कोई knowledge level में join करता है, मैं तो उनको तभी से बोलती हूँ कि start orienting yourself towards reading financial papers. Try and keep in touch with what is happening in the finance world. We are giving a UK based exam, so important to know what's happening in the UK environment also. Because a lot of time your case studies are based on what's currently happening in the world. And if you have a little bit of knowledge, your answer stands out from everybody else. Because you brought in a little bit of perspective of what you know. Right? So, abhi FM mein itna darne ki zarurat nahi hai, but start building on it. Start building on it so that by the time you reach the professional levels, we are a little bit aware, more aware about the current affairs and all. Yeah. Last thing is the webinars on the subject. You should explore the ACCA website. Those who are new to the course, just go to the ACCA website, type resources on financial management. They conduct webinars. There are a lot of videos available on YouTube and so on and so forth. So generally read or watch, attend these webinars to get better insight about the subject. Right? Sometimes they give you very good tips on how to answer or how to solve this or whatever. So keep a tab on these webinars that are happening, and the only way to do that is keep looking through the ACCA website. What are the resources available for financial management? Is that okay?